Adam Valentini kind of just shook up the prospecting world by not going to his commitment, which was the Kitchener Rangers. Can you tell me about like where you see that fit in University of Michigan?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I'll say that. I think that so Valentini played for the Chicago Steel last year, and was fine. He played really well. I think there was a lot of expectation on him. There was a lot of excitement about him. But you look at kind of the output. Wasn't an all rookie selection, wasn't, no signifiers of, that kind of like big step forward. Went to the Holinka Gretzky Cup and he was very good. I don't know that you would say he was one of Canada's best players. He had 4 points at the start of the tournament and then none the rest in some of the toughest games that they played. I think that you look at jumping to college, and so he was going to go to Kitchener, and I thought Kitchener was, for one, very well set up to be a very competitive team this year, still are, and to be that kind of step for him that he would be a premier player at the OHL level, and then Michigan had a spot available, and I'm sure that spot was being held for the option of another high profile CHL to NHL or CHL to NCAA commitment, maybe somebody that was drafted recently, maybe somebody that ended up at another program. And so I think if you're asking a player to accelerate and move up a level and you're doing it based on need, it is the wrong decision. If you are doing it because this is going to benefit your team and the player, then it's the right decision. And you didn't have to do it out of need. There is nothing in Adam Valentini's profile to me that suggests that he's ready for this jump. So it's a risk on his part. And I respect it. Like last year, I said the same things about Cullen Potter. Cullen Potter still ended up going in the first round. I thought that he was a good college player. He handled the transition and he got better as the year went on. I don't think that but then you look at like Celebrini and he's a dominant college player. Maybe that's not the right comparison to make. Obviously Keaton Verhoff, you look at him, the size, the different things, he's at the same age, accelerating into college a year early. And now you're doing it with Valentini. So doesn't have the same size profile. I think it's very, very risky on his part to take this jump right now. And it's kind of funny. I was looking back. I was reminded of this. Very late July of 2011, the University of Michigan was getting prepared to welcome a highly touted recruit out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the National Team Development Program. That was John Gibson. They signed him on July 27th of 2011, and he went to the Kitchener Rangers. He was supposed to go to the University of Michigan. All
Wow.
this and it's a different staff, so they're not playing the long revenge game here or
Yeah.
anything like that. But it's kind of the tables have turned suddenly, and it puts the team in a bad position. But purely from a developmental perspective, Anthony, the way that I view this is it is risky.
Mhm.
I don't think that he's ready for that step. I don't think that Michigan has the support in front. Like they have the coaching. He's going to get better. It's going to pressure him, but they're a really young team already. And to throw another young player into this mix, like I don't think Michigan is going to compete this year, like for a Big Ten title, for Frozen Four. I don't know if they'll make the NCAA tournament. They've got good pieces, but they're freshman pieces, and
Mhm.
you do have some guys. They're not built the way that college teams have been built to compete for national titles in recent years. They're built as a very skilled, fast, young team, and we'll see if that works out. I think it's risky. I'm intrigued to see how it works out. I think obviously for the Kitchener Rangers, you're really devastated. I think if you're the Chicago Steel, you're feeling, maybe less bad that he's not going to the OHL. But at the same time, I still think he's a junior hockey player. I think from where he is right now to where he has to be an impactful freshman. And I'm talking impactful. I'm not saying like he can be a guy. Like he's definitely skilled enough to be
Hmm.
on the roster. But I don't know if he can be an impactful addition to that roster. And that's where if I'm a player accelerating, I would want to be a guy that's going to be a top 4 defenseman or a top 6 forward. I don't see any path for him to be either, a top 6 forward on this roster. So it's an interesting move, to say the least.